Hi everyone, this is Maryann here, Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are you today, wherever you are in the world? Huge shout out to you. Thank you to those, first up, thank you to those who support my channel and my work in whatever way you can or choose to do so. I am grateful for the likes, the comments, and the gifts, donations to this channel. So thank you to all who do so, and new subscribers. Welcome to new subscribers, and anyone who happens to be passing by. And you give of your time to have a look at the work that we do on this channel. And I say we because it's not just me, it's a community of like-minded individuals that make up a collective. Okay, so it's been a huge week. Of course, dominating everything is the war between Israel and Hamas, and the plight of the hostages, Israeli hostages, whether or not it is feasible when Netanyahu, I'm just going to say Netanyahu, is carrying out just constant bombing. Hamas is lobbing rockets back over to Israel, and the situation, I think it's fair to state the facts here. The situation in the Gaza is desperate. Now, not enough aid is getting through. Electricity has been cut off. Water's been denied. Fuel's been denied. The hospitals are no longer able to operate, and internet service was also cut. However, under pressure from the US president, that has been restored. I think that Elon Musk was going to come out of his den of whatever iniquity and provide Starlink services to at least humanitarian aid organisations. And let's not forget, there are countless citizens, global citizens trapped in Gaza, including Australians, people who have gone, Doctors Without Borders. The UN has a huge complex in Gaza. It has lost or had lost contact with its aid workers. It's a diabolical, terrible situation. And the longer it goes on, the more worried that I get that the war will widen. We've had Turkey, Erdogan, the president of Turkey, Prime Minister of Turkey, leader of Turkey, come out and say, condemn the actions of Israel. And of course, Israel has withdrawn its diplomatic staff from Turkey. We're getting, of course, now the US... They say it's nothing to do with the Middle East. However, it has launched strikes on Iranian military who have been bombing or drone striking US forces in Syria. So we have Lebanon and Hezbollah moving more toward joining. Well, they already have joined Hamas. We have the Arab states. I think over 100 voted in the United Nations for the resolution that called for ceasefire. And I think ceasefire is what everybody wants now, everybody needs now. And the longer this goes on, the more dangerous it gets, that there will have to be some kind of widening of this war. So, let's get started with, will the war actually widen in the Middle East? Every day that goes by that I don't pick my news service up and see that, Iran's launching attacks on Israel, that the US has put its soldiers on the ground, that, every day that goes by, I'm relieved. But I don't find there's any certainty that indeed won't happen. So I am waiting for saner heads to intervene, push for ceasefire, prioritise hostage negotiations, because the hostage families themselves, families of those that have been taken hostage, are imploring Netanyahu to prioritise getting their loved ones out. Every day that goes by that these things don't happen, and that we move toward a two-state solution, is a day closer to the widening of this war. So let's take a look here. What can I see? So we are at the crossroads. I'm seeing the Two of Swords here. Decisions actually need to be made, and the longer that they're put off, the more imperiled we become. Okay, but it's like moving a mountain in terms of actually holding any type of peace talks. Okay, so I'm seeing the Hierophant coming through here, which means there's going to be a higher type of authority. I'd assume that's the UN come in and broker. But it does need the Americans to support this. Okay. All right, so let's see. Will the war in the Middle East widen? Will the war in the Middle East widen? What can you show me? I think also the Pope is going to, if he hasn't already, is going to make some sort of statement on this. Okay, so we get the Nine of Wands. I'm using the Witch's Tarot. The Nine of Wands, interesting. All of those. This speaks to guardrails and barriers and things being left to go on. I read a historical article from the Times of Israel back in Trump's day when they were announcing their Middle East peace plan. And it is an absolute circus. I'm actually going to do a podcast on my Random Sage podcast on that today. I'll see if I can let you have a look at that article. I also, a couple of years ago, did an Israel and Palestine reading, which warned of exactly what's happening, and I'll link that to below this video. So complacency here, allowing things to continue in the same way, whether that is Hamas agitation or whether it's Netanyahu's soldiers moving Palestinians out of the West Bank. Things were allowed to culminate in what we're seeing now. The guardrails weren't there. Now we have wish fulfillment, which is good, because this speaks to the guardrails, actually some sort of guardrails being put up. This person does carry a wand, does have his back to the wall or her back to the wall. So it could be that there's a peace plan, as I've read in the past, in the future. We get the Ace of Swords at the foundation of the reading, and if you've been with me over the last few months, you would know that this truth has to be acknowledged. In the most complex of situations, the eclipse on the 28th of October, it's the 29th here in Australia, 28th in the Northern Hemisphere. You would know, if you've listened to astrologers, is all about letting go of what no longer serves you. And it's the resources that you have, or that you think you have, that are no longer serving your needs. And often there's a truth. When that happens, there's a truth that needs to be faced. No more platitudes, no more tokenisms, no more trotting out the same lines, the same justifications, the same old ways of doing things, the same old political strategies. We have gone beyond that. And at the higher level, and I want to speak about the Hierophant that came forward in my clairvoyant images can hardly be seen, but is coming through the dark clouds. And that is acknowledging that there are universal truths which go beyond any politics, which go beyond any vested interests. And the situation in Gaza, without looking at the history or even the present, the situation in Gaza cannot be allowed to continue. The King of Cups in the past here, this is emotional maturity. It is emotional wisdom. It's also my card for the President of the US. He's fighting a battle in his own country with growing calls for ceasefire. For ceasefire. And growing calls for peacekeeping forces to make sure that that ceasefire is adhered to on both sides. The majority of the world want ceasefire. The Hermit card, crowning this reading, reflection. Isolation, reflection, introspection, the dark tunnel. Almost like we're all on a vision quest. Or the Holocaust. The taking of indigenous lands. Atrocities of the past all create a wound. A wound, I believe, that hasn't been healed. And so when you have a wound, you look for vengeance. Palestinians who were there prior to Israeli settlement, who were displaced, they have a wound. And so we start to contemplate in this eclipse time, what is the meaning of justice? Is justice, I'm going to do this to you because you've done that to me? Does justice sanction the killing, both ways, of innocent citizens, innocent people? What is justice? And I think I read an astrologer, Jessica Murray, her column, excellent, I'll post that on my Facebook, talked about moving into a higher octave of Libra. Now remember, the North Node is in Aries, moved into Aries, new starts, new beginnings, new identities. The South Node, what we need to let go of, is in Libra, the sign of justice. The sign of negotiation, the sign of trying to find a middle way between two warring, opposing sides. And this is what we are in the middle of doing at this time. The Six of Wands talks about victory. We know that Netanyahu wants complete victory over Hamas. The Page of Cups in the here and now. Surprises, things coming out of left field that we're not expecting. And we get the Seven of Swords. This is the ground assault into Gaza at this time. Will the war widen in the hopes and fears? The Ten of Swords. Complete and utter downfall. The ending of something. And we get abuse of power. The Five of Swords as the outcome. Many players here at this time. Many layers upon layers of reasons why we're here in this situation. We get the Three of Wands. So we get abuse of power, and also complicit, those that are complicit in this abuse of power. the deals that have been done in the past. And the Knight of Swords, the truth coming forward. So in a way, this conflict is taking us out of our comfort zones, out of our old ways of responding, and revealing a truth. It looks like that there are certain parties that have committed to helping, to sending in troops. And the Ace of Wands, planning, new starts, some kind of project. But we do get the Star of Hope. I'm going to say that this war could widen. I'm seeing a commitment that certain parties will help other parties. And they will benefit from that as well. That's the terrible thing. They will benefit from it. The Chariot at the base of the pack, things going very, very quickly. Homeland, Knight of Cups and the Devil, toxicity, Judgment. And we have the Two of Swords. It's inevitable that this crossroads has been reached. So I'm seeing that there are parties who will join in this conflict at a certain point. The question is, given that over, I think it's 140 odd nations want a ceasefire, can the US broker, not the US, the UN, sorry, can the UN broker a ceasefire? 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 The Queen of Swords, logic, sanity, negotiation, the higher octave of justice. I know that I've been critical of the UN in its response to Ukraine and Russia. But on this, they have been straightforward. They have been proactive. Their own people are caught up in this. A whole-scale massacre is not going to be allowed in Gaza. Because it is one that Israel will never recover from if they indeed do this. It looks like the UN, not the US, the UN will broker some kind of ceasefire, and we will get to a point where we move into that higher octave of justice and acknowledging just what we are as human beings capable of. The Ten of Wands, it's a huge, huge ask. The Ten of Pentacles, money, big money involved in this. War makes money. The Eight of Cups in the sky, turning away, and this is the eclipse energy from what no longer serves us. That it detracts, it takes from us. It's not working anymore. This old way is not working anymore. The King of Wands stepping forward bravely. The Lovers in the here and now. Unity, joining together. The Hermit, again. Reflection, introspection. Bringing people together, bringing nations together. The hopes and fears that things will spiral out of control, that way or this way. Yes, the Fool card is at the outcome. The Star card is there as well. The Knight of Cups is the peace offering. It is the UN that will broker a ceasefire. Because why? Because the Tower is here. Manifestation of a Tower moment. Having to think again, having to plan again. Self-care, care of others, something being revealed to us, the hostages, the High Priestess, many players in this war, and the Ace of Swords, the truth emerging. It won't be a truth that we will like to hear, but we're going to get to the truth of this one way or another. The UN is where the hope is. Okay, I'm going to... so it's going to widen before the UN steps in. Okay, I want to look at Joe Biden's health. I'm not sure why. Well, people have been asking me to, but I don't... I've looked at his health before. It wasn't a problem. But I've seen a lot of propaganda circulating around about his health. And I just have a feeling we need to look at it. All right, Joe Biden's health. Joe Biden's health. It's a straight path that I'm seeing. It is bordered by many burdens. Many burdens. But he sees a straight path ahead. He is not taking on... He is not being ground down by the partisanship, by the antics, malevolence of the GOP, the chaos of the GOP. He sees a straight road in front of him. He's very clear-eyed. Anyone who says that he's in cognitive decline better go and check their own cognition, because this man is clear about what he needs to do and where he needs to go. Okay, Page of Pentacles, the young people. Young people, new starts, moving ahead, the economy. Okay, very focused on the US economy. All right. Show me Joe Biden's health, please. Is Joe Biden in good health? Two glasses clinking. I think he gets what he wants, one way or another. All right, show me Joe Biden's health. Does Joe Biden have a health issue that we may hear about in the coming weeks, months, in the near future? Does Joe Biden have a serious health issue? He may have heart issues here. But two hearts I'm seeing, one within the other. So, does Joe Biden have a health issue, a serious health issue we may hear about in the near future? So we get the Hanged Man, pausing, resting, sacrifice. It's neither a yes or no card. And we get the burdens, having to make decisions. So there is a health issue here that he's put on the back burner, if that makes sense. Having to defend himself, standing his ground. I think he's pretty stubborn. The Six of Pentacles in the past, I see that he's been receiving treatment for it. We have the Queen of Cups, self-care, something being revealed to us. Immediate future, the Nine of Swords, anxiety. A lot of people are worried about his health. He could be secretly worried about his health. And we have the Three of Swords. There's the heart there in the present. And we have the Tower. I don't like these cards. I think there is a health issue that he will have to address that he has been putting off. The strength is in the hopes and fears, that he has the strength for these trying times, for these times that I haven't seen in my lifetime. We get justice as the outcome here. What has been given will be taken away. We have the death card, the end of something, and we have retreat, having to step back, having to take a rest. So what I am seeing is that he does have a health problem. Because the death card is there, please don't be afraid of that. That talks about an ending of something. And we have the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Cups. A lot of 5s here. He's under immense pressure. He needs to step away and rest. And that might be what we hear. That he is taking some time out to deal with a health problem. Is he going to pass on? Show me the death card, please. Show me the death card. The Empress card. The women. The Queen of Wands, abundance. And the Sun card. Page of Swords. I don't like reading on this, but I'm just going to say this death card doesn't necessarily mean that he will pass from this health problem. It means that he's got to literally stop and rest. Okay, show me the death card. Will he be okay? Will Joe Biden be okay? The 4 of Cups, yep. So, yeah, there's something he's got to deal with. The Hierophant card here. And the 5 of Cups. Yeah. And the 10 of Cups, his family. Just under immense pressure. I think there's a health problem he's going to be dealing with. I'm not going to say that he's going to pass away. I feel that the scenario is more likely that he will announce his pretty much taking a few weeks to get this health problem in check. Okay, all right. I think I'll leave it there. That's enough for today. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. In summary, the UN does step in after things get worse, and broker, if they can get worse, well, they can. Others will join in. And I think that's always been the plan. The UN will step in and broker a ceasefire. Remember, the UN is only as strong as its member states and the way that it unifies. And globally, over 100 have voted for ceasefire. And I think Joe Biden does have a health issue that he will have to step back and manage. Okay, I'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now. Remember also, this is about facing the truth. This is about having faith in a higher expression of humanity, wherever that will take us, however we get there. That's what these times have been designed to do. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.